If you think HOA drama is just somebody whining about grass, let me tell you how it feels when it turns into intimidation. My name's Nate Keller. I do refrigeration and HVAC, long days, dirty hands, honest work. I moved into Cedar Hollow Estates after my older brother passed and left me his house. The money didn't matter. The backyard did. He built the patio himself, every board measured twice. And there's an old pecan tree with a beat-up picnic table where our initials are carved from when we were kids. That spot is basically the last piece of him still breathing. So when my daughter Ava wanted a small cookout after finals, I said yes. Nothing loud. Burgers, soda, a cheap speaker, my son Jude running around with ketchup on his face like it's war paint. I'm at the grill, flipping patties, feeling normal for the first time in forever. Then the side gate clicks. No knock. No warning. It swings open like somebody owns the hinge. A uniformed community security guy walks in with a heavy belt, radio, and a holster that doesn't belong anywhere near a family cookout. Behind him, 2 HOA board members follow, arms crossed like they came to witness a blow-up. And right in the middle of them is the HOA president, Marla DeWitt. Perfect hair, perfect smile, the kind that says she enjoys being obeyed. The guard looks past me and locks eyes on Ava by the table. Then his hand drifts toward his holster, not drawing, just hovering like a suggestion. Ava freezes. Jude stops running. The whole yard goes quiet in 1 second. The guard says, flat as a receipt, noise complaint. I blink. It's 3 in the afternoon. Marla steps forward. Guidelines say 65 decibels. You've been warned before. I laugh, because it's either laugh or lose it. You got a decibel meter in your purse, Marla? Her smile stays tight. Don't be cute. I keep my voice calm because my kids are watching. Hey man, I tell the guard. You don't need a weapon in my backyard over music. He shifts his stance and his fingers touch the grip again. I reach over, turn the speaker down a couple clicks. There. Done. We good. Marla leans in, voice sweet like poison. You'll be getting a notice. Next time, we escalate. I look at Ava's face, that embarrassed fear she's trying to hide. And something in me goes cold and clear. I nod once. Send it. They leave through my gate like they just inspected a crime scene, and the guard keeps his hand near that holster until the latch shuts. That's when I realized the HOA wasn't trying to keep the neighborhood pretty. They were trying to keep people scared. 2 days later, the notice arrives, folded like a court summons. Formal hearing. Community disruption. Aggressive behavior toward security. Aggressive. Ava reads it and snorts. Dad, you didn't even raise your voice. I don't answer because Jude's at the table stirring cereal like he can feel the tension in the walls. Instead, I start documenting everything. Dates, times, photos. Trash, can violations. Unkempt edging, when I mowed 2 days earlier. Non-operational vehicle, because I had Ava's car on a jack to change a tire. Unapproved backyard modification for a patio that's been there longer than Marla's obsession with control. After a few weeks, it hits me. This isn't random enforcement. It's pressure. And once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Houses around us start going quiet. For sale signs appear. Families leave without goodbyes. Porches empty out. And every time somebody packs up, I swear Marla's SUV is nearby, like she's counting points. The hearing is in a clubhouse room that smells like old carpet and fake lemon cleaner. Folding chairs. A binder of rules thicker than my work manual. Marla sits up front like a judge who already wrote the verdict. The guard from my backyard is there too. Name tag says Sutter, and he stares at me like I'm the problem he wants permission to remove. One board member, Quinn, keeps glancing at Marla before he speaks like he needs approval to breathe. And off to the side sits the treasurer, Glenn Pierce. Quiet. Pen tapping. Not defending Marla. Not defending me. Just looking tired like a man who regrets what he's helped build. I lay my photos on the table and ask simple questions. Where's the decibel reading? Why was security armed at a family cookout? Show me the vote that approved your security contract. Marla smiles like I'm a child asking why the sky is blue. We're not here to relitigate that incident, she says. We're here to address your ongoing disregard. Glenn's pen stops tapping for half a second when she says that, like even his body flinches. I walk out with a fine and a warning. Ava meets me by the truck, arms folded tight. We can move, she says quietly. We can sell and start over. I look past her at the backyard, the patio my brother built, the pecan tree, the table with our initials. No, I tell her. If we leave because someone pushed us, we teach them pushing works. That night, I can't sleep. I keep replaying Sutter's hand hovering near that holster. Not because I want revenge, because I want answers. And I've learned in my line of work the truth usually hides in boring places. Paperwork. Everyone hates paperwork. That's why it's where the mess lives. So I start digging. HOA portal, bulletin board, county filings. And buried in public records, I find it. Cedar Hollow Community Patrol Services. Signed years ago. Expired years ago. Renewal section where signatures should be. Blank. My stomach drops. Because if that contract is expired, then Sutter wasn't authorized enforcement. He was just a guy with a gun showing up because Marla wanted a scarecrow. The next morning, I knock on Glenn Pierce's door. He opens it a crack like he expects Marla to be behind me. I hold up the contract pages. Glenn, is this what I think it is? His eyes flick left and right. Then he pulls me inside. He pours coffee with hands that won't stop trembling. You didn't get this from me, he whispers. I didn't say I did, I reply. He exhales like he's been holding his breath for years. It lapsed, he admits. Marla said it was handled. Said her consultant took care of renewals. Then he slides an envelope across the table. Someone left this at my door. Inside is a flash drive. We plug it in. Grainy doorbell footage. Marla's voice is crystal clear. Keep the citations coming. The faster they feel pressure, the faster they sell. We just need a few more turnovers, and the developer closes the next phase. Quinn's voice asks, nervous, what if they refuse? Marla laughs, short and cold. Then we make it uncomfortable until they don't have a choice. I stare at the screen like it slapped me. Glenn looks sick. That's the moment the story stops being about rules and becomes about a shakedown dressed up as community standards. I copy the file, back it up, and I do the one thing Marla never expected. I tell the neighborhood. Clean flyers, plain facts. Contract expired. Ask for proof, public record attached. No insults. No signature. Just truth. And suddenly porches aren't empty anymore. People start talking again. Fear starts cracking. Marla panics and posts a notice. Distribution of unauthorized materials will be referred to legal counsel. Translation, shut up. But fear doesn't work once people smell the truth. I call a buddy of mine, Diego Ramos, who runs legit security consulting, real compliance, no fake tough guy nonsense. He looks at the contract, the blank renewal, the video, and says, you don't need to outshout her. You need to cut her authority. That night I file a barebones LLC, Hollowline Community Safety, and submit a clean proposal that makes Marla's setup look exactly like what it is. No weapons, no intimidation, transparency, community oversight. Within days, the county acknowledges the old patrol agreement is inactive and enforcement tied to it is legally vulnerable until properly reviewed. I laminate the notice and pin it to the HOA board next to Marla's threat memo. Patrol services suspended pending lawful authorization. The group chat melts down. Were we fined illegally? Why didn't we vote? Marla calls an emergency meeting. She shows up in a blazer like she's running for office and starts with, there has been confusion caused by misinformation. And then Glenn stands up. No shaking hands this time. I stayed quiet, he says. That was my failure. But what's happening now isn't confusion. It's correction. He mentions the payments, the pressure, the video. Neighbors start speaking up, one after another, not yelling, just finally refusing to be quiet. I step forward, calm as I can manage. Marla, enforcement tied to that expired contract exposes the HOA to liability. That's not my opinion. That's the paper. She opens her mouth and nothing comes out. I turn to the neighbors. There's a no confidence clause in our bylaws. 2/3 majority. Hands go up. One by one. People who never spoke before. People who got fined into silence. Marla is voted out that night. No dramatic screaming. She gathers her folders and leaves through a side door without looking at anybody. The next morning my mailbox is quiet for the first time in months. And I didn't realize how tense I'd been until my shoulders finally dropped. We start rewriting bylaws, adding term limits, banning conflicts of interest, forcing real votes, real transparency. Ava smiles again like she isn't bracing for a threat. Jude plays in the yard without watching the gate. But here's the messy ending. Rumor is Marla hired a lawyer and started talking defamation, false accusations, damaged reputation. Maybe it's a bluff. Maybe it's her last attempt to put fear back on the table. Or maybe it proves something bigger. People like that don't quit power, they just look for a new doorway. So I want your take. Was I right to fight fire with paperwork? Was I wrong to expose her to the whole neighborhood? If you lived on that street, would you have raised your hand? Or stayed quiet to keep the peace? Drop a comment with where you stand. And if you've got your own HOA story, tell it. Because the day my gate clicked open, I learned something I'll never forget. Peace isn't something you're handed. It's something you protect before somebody else decides it belongs to them.